Hi, this is Larry Troca, and today we are going to do a cutting video on this 3-year-old filly. Uh, we've kind of been recording her progress since she got here at my training stable, and so far so good. She's doing great. Now she got to my training stable late, so she's probably not going to make it to the futurities just because I got her so late. But I'm thinking, the 4-year-old derbies are probably doable. You never know for sure with a horse. But right now things are looking pretty good. But in this video right here, we're gonna talk about advancing a horse. We're gonna advance this filly to the next level, which means I'm going to step her up into a curb bit. I'm going to school her in this curb bit for a while, and then I will probably go back to the snaffle bit. The main thing that you got to be careful about when you're advancing a horse is that you don't overdo it and get them afraid, wanting to leave, wanting to run off, wanting to quit, all that kind of good stuff. All those things are possible when you start pushing a horse. So I'm super sensitive to that. The bit I'm riding this filly in this video is a correction mouthpiece with a short Argentine shank, and I have a head setter on this filly. Now, before you go crazy and go, "Oh my God, Larry, you're riding her with a head setter. Now you're going to always have to ride her in a head setter." No, just calm down. Those wives' tales about once you use a tool, you always have to use it. That's just BS. Don't even pay attention to any of that. So anyway, we're going to start the video here. I'm going to let it just run. It's a short video. It's like 2 minutes. I'm just going to let it run without saying a word. And then we're going to go back to the beginning, and I will tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right? So let's start the video here. Hit play. Okay, so that's the end of the video. And now let me take it back to the beginning. And we are going to go through this step by step. If you are dead serious about training your horse to cut cattle, this is probably one of the most important things you're going to want to see, because without this, what I'm about to explain to you here is critical. If you can't do what I'm about to say, you won't have a cutting horse. It just won't happen. So we're gonna work this horse, and you can see I've stepped her up into a curb bit. You know, we've got the correction mouthpiece, short Argentine shanks, and I have a head setter on her. Now, why do I have a head setter on this filly when she normally is so low-headed? It's the reason why is because it's just an insurance policy. Do I absolutely have to have it? No, I don't. I'm pretty darn sure I'm fine without it. But I have it. Why not use it and make sure that things go right? All right. So that's why I have it on her. The other thing that I want you to really notice is the way I use my hands when I'm tuning this filly. We're going to advance this filly. She's been, up until now, she's only been in a snaffle bit. She's never been in a curb bit. I believe when we shot this, she had been in the curb bit maybe, I don't know, 4 times, something like that. Maybe 5 times. But, it's something that you got to get a horse used to. Horses work a lot different in a curb bit than they do in a snaffle bit. Anytime you make a big change like that, it's going to take them a little while to catch on and get the results that you're looking for. So anyway, let me start this. So all that looked pretty good. You know, she's on her hocks. I'm backing her up a little bit. I like what she's doing here. Low head, in time with the cow. She got a little lost right there. Backing her up, getting her on her hocks, positioning her body. Sit there, touch her, let her know she's doing good. Now let's stop for a second. Let me talk about something. So this filly, you know, she's doing some really good things here. Now you saw she got a little lost. I had to pull her around to go catch the cow. The one thing that you will notice, she was really in time with the cow. Now, the reason why she was really in time with the cow is because I've schooled her a few times with this curb bit. Let's make a distinction here. Before we go any farther, let me make a distinction that is absolutely critical for you to know. So if you've ever paid attention before, now's the time to do it. Cutting horses need to spread their hind legs when they're working a cow, or they'll never be any good. Let me repeat that. A cutting horse absolutely must spread its hind legs when it stops and turns, or it will never win anything. Okay? Now that you've got that etched in your memory, most of you are probably going to be asking, well, why? And the reason why is because, you know, we have different performance events. We have, Western riding, we have reining, we have reined cow horse. And the reining horse needs to keep his hind legs together so he can slide a long ways. If he spreads his hind legs out wide, they're going to go out in a V, and he can't slide very far without coming out of the slide and putting his legs back together. Now, in a cutting horse, the reason the cutting horse needs to have its hind legs spread wide is so that it has a very stable base that it can stop and turn with. Without spreading those hind legs, that stable base that keeps it in balance does not exist. So as a cutting horse trainer, part of my job is to make sure I teach this horse how to spread its hind legs. Now, what you're going to watch here is me advancing this filly with the curb bit, using my hands abruptly. And the abruptness of the way I use my hands will cause her to spread her hind legs. If I always use my hands slowly and softly, she will never learn to spread her hind legs. Now, are there exceptions to that rule? You bet there are. Yeah, you see them every day. But those are exceptions. The vast majority of horses, you need to use your hands in time with the cow and as abrupt as you need to make it to be in time with the cow. That alone is what teaches a horse to spread its hind legs. Now, as we go on with this video, you'll see me use my hands abruptly, very quickly. Now, I can do that. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to what I'm about to say here. The reason I can do this and make it work successfully on this horse is that my timing is perfect with the cow. Now, how do you get perfect timing with the cow? Here's how you get it, through experience. You need to watch cattle. You need to study cattle enough where you can read their body language. And once you can read their body language, you know a full second before they do it that they're going to do something. Like when a cow's getting ready to stop, I can tell you a full second, maybe even 2 seconds before it actually stops. Same with turning. I know exactly what the cow is going to do by his body language. And because of that, I can time my horse perfectly to match the cow's moves. I hope I made that clear. If I didn't, don't be afraid to let me know, all right? I mean, because this is something that you really need to have, etched in your mind and know exactly what we're talking about. All right, so let's go on with the video here. I'm going to click play. That all looks pretty good. A little long right there, not bad. I'm going to put her back on her hocks. Bump her back on her hocks. Notice how I have her head in toward the cow when I bump her back. Taking her back to the cow's hip once in a while just to kind of tighten her up. That looked pretty good there. Now, right there, I petted her to reward her, let her know everything was fine. I want you to pay attention. Let's stop for a second. Right there, when I stopped her and backed her up, pay attention to how light and giving this horse is. A lot of folks think that your reining horse is probably the most lightest, responsive horse that you would have. The reality of it is most cutting horses, big time winners, are way more lighter than big time reining horses. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that is true. And the reason for that means we're talking about it. The reason for that, the reining horse, we want him to slide a long way. We want him to look smooth and cadenced, which requires us to use our hands slowly, but in perfect time with that horse's steps. But we're not doing anything abruptly. We want if we're training a reining horse, we want everything to flow together smoothly. Okay, that's why we don't use our hands abruptly on a reining horse. But on a cutting horse, where he has to match the cow's moves precisely, abruptness is sometimes necessary to get that horse to learn to read the cow's body language. This is the thing that a lot of amateurs and non-pros don't understand. We are actually teaching the horse not to just move with the cow. We got to teach the horse that he's got to learn to read the cow's body language. Okay? I mean, it's an extra layer of complex situations that we have to teach that horse. So it's not that he's just moving with an object. He actually has to mentally understand that he has to learn to read a cow's body language. Okay? I hope I came across clear on that, because it is so critical for you to know that. All right, so let's go on here. So we're getting ready to cut another cow. Trotting up here with this red cow. You notice I didn't bump her to a stop. Oh, let's stop for a second here. You notice when we came with that red cow, it stopped. I did not bump my horse to a stop. I wanted to test her to see if she would stop on her own, right in synchronization with that cow, which she did. So I never touched her. I didn't park her into the ground. I didn't jerk her or anything like that. Okay? She did that absolutely correctly. So that is rewarded with, there's no jerk on the bit, no spur, anything like that. Take her back across the cow to tighten her up a little bit. Taking her back across the cow is what makes her a little tighter on the cow, a little more accurate on the cow. Nice there. Very nice. Okay, right there. Did you see that abruptness? And there it is again. She's missing the cow stopping, going that direction. So I catch her real quick. I love that. Rock her back on her hocks, take her across the cow, get her stopped. All right, let's stop for a second here. I want to go back. I love that shot right there. Look, she's loaded on her hocks. Her front end. You see how her legs are very free. She's ready to go any direction she needs to go. The vast majority of her weight is cocked back on her hocks. This is how it needs to be. I mean, there's no if, and, or maybe about it. It has to be this way. If you want to win anything, if you want to win anything, you got to have all this stuff. So let's go back a little bit farther here. Maybe not quite that far. All right, let's start from here. So right there, the cow stopped, and she didn't stop in time. So I just caught her real quick. All that looks good. Right. Okay, caught her again. She missed the cow stopping, going to her right. All right, so what you see me doing here now, I was very happy with the way she worked. So when you're done, you just step off. I loosen the cinch. I pet her. I praise her. I let her know that, boy, that was a good job. And, you may not think, it looks like that's the end of the video. You may not think that horses can understand what you're saying to them, and they probably can't, but they can sure enough get the feel of what you're saying. They can feel it when you're pleased with them. And so when she has a work like this, and you didn't see it on the video here, but I'll make a big deal out of petting her. I'll step off, loosen the cinch, I'll tell her what a good girl she is, and they can recognize that I'm pleased. They just can. And so when I come out the next time, and you'll see it here in the next video, it's just something. It's a big deal. I hate to make it sound like such a big deal, but it's a big deal. Your intention, your emotions, your satisfaction with the horse or dissatisfaction with the horse, they can tell it. Now, if she worked bad, like sometimes she does, no praise whatsoever. I let her know that I'm not happy. I'm not happy with this. And it'll kind of worry her a little bit because she knows that I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If she's not good, she's going to pay the price for it. And it has to be that way. Now, I realized what I just said. I said, if she's not good, she has to pay the price for it. I know there's people watching this video that are going to say, Jesus, Larry, that's so unfair. No, it's not. Put yourself in the place of the owner of this horse. We're going to go to cutting horse competitions. I'm pretty sure this filly's going to make it, all right? I mean, we're behind. Well, we're 6 months behind. But we're catching up little by little. And I will have her ready for some of the 4-year-old events. But put yourself in this owner's place. We're going to enter contests where the entry fee is $3,000, $4,000. If she doesn't work when we go show, what am I going to tell that owner? Well, gee, I guess she didn't feel like working today. No. He'll be looking for a new trainer real quick. The horse, you have to be in the mindset of letting this horse know that when we're working, we are working, and it better be right. And if it's not right, there's a price to pay. When we enter that show arena, I want my horse in the mindset of, man, I am gonna hold this cow, and we're gonna do it perfect. And if I don't feel that horse is in that mindset, I do what's necessary to get the horse in that mindset. Because I tell you what, you enter up, shows or classes or aged events with huge entry fees, you need to look like you belong, or that owner feels like a fool. You've disappointed him. And we need to do what's right by our clients. The gentleman who owns this horse, he sent her to me with the belief that I will do a good job. And, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the absolutely best job I can on this horse and try to get her as good as I can get her. Now, if she doesn't have the ability or whatever to get there, well, that's out of my control. But my part of it, of trying to get it the best I can, that is always there. I never take that lightly. And so those are the things that you need to kind of be thinking about. If you're watching this video, you may be a trainer. There actually are quite a few trainers who are members of Cutting Horse Know-How. But there's also a lot of non-pros. And non-pros have a tendency to not make things as correct as they need to be. And that's why we do these voiceovers. I'd like to educate you the best I can to try to get the best results that you can. And of course, you got to have a good horse. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. But these days, we have horses that are bred so well, the vast majority of them should make it as cutting horses. And it's your job as that horse's rider to get it done. Okay? All right, so we're gonna wind this up. I was very pleased with this filly in this run. And so in the next video, I'll just keep showing you her advancement. If we do advance, let's stop for a second. We don't always advance. There's a lot of times where we just stay right where we're at. And you're thinking you're not getting anywhere. And then all of a sudden, the horse will advance. So those are things, I know what to expect because I've trained so many futurity horses. I got a pretty good idea of how it should go. But if you're a non-pro, you probably don't. You're probably kind of winging it. So, you really need to pay attention to what you're doing and the reaction of your horse. And, if you have to send me a video of you working your horse and have me critique it, well, that would be a good thing to do because, I can spot mistakes right away. So you are welcome. You're a member now. You're a member of my website. You have privileges that other people don't. So if you need to video yourself, and send me the video to critique, I'm happy to do it. All right, let's wind this up, and we will call it quits for now. All right, take care.